Let's use these ivies for some roofing and a shelter. So if you're in a barren landscape like this, you're going to be limited to basically twigs or branches. And I've been looking around for ivy and pines, but there's just not that much material. So that's about the only vine I could find. So we're going to have to basically stack up some twigs, make a roof like that, and then hopefully we'll have enough warmth from there to make a fire and keep warm for an emergency. You can see how much quicker you can use surface area with one of these. You also want to have some supports above your head so that if it falls down and collapses, at least it falls down on your back up here. So I'm going to put a base of wood down there so that if it bit this snow, we can just shake them and the snow go in between them. That'll be our base for our bed, I guess. And then also, as you can see here, I have supports that I'll put all the way around the sides to basically stop it falling top of me should the worst happen. We will need to find some vegetation to put on top of those branches. Probably vine leaves, worst case scenario. So I've run out of basically logs lying around. Looks ideal. Actually, this is ready to go. Sometimes you might not need to split it in half, depends how weak the wood is. Also, if you find larger dead logs, this material here can be like great coverings as well for thatching. Can't go wrong with Shema. So the way that they're going to stay warm here, basically we've got these twigs at the side which will be like a windbreak, and then we're going to make a fire probably in the side there, and that's going to basically create radiant heat which is going to reflect off the branches and create as a warm zone, which is probably going to be 5 to 6 degrees warmer than the outside temperature, which is probably enough to survive with if we have like good layering system in our clothing. Now I just need to find some silver birch for tinder, and then that'll basically light my little fire pile here, and we'll see how that goes. And I need to get some, obviously some larger logs as well to keep it going long term. Looks like silver birch over there. Nope, even if it was, there's not much material there. So this sort of stuff here is ideal because it's not really attached to the tree, and just got a good pull. So I have prepared my mattress. I did use a knife to cut that. There we go. Bed's complete. Do that about another 7 times and you have a good base layer. So we're going to have to make some feather sticks and use a lighter to start a fire. Some standing dead wood here. See how wet that is. Really tough, really tough. Wood. Nightmare. It's all soaking wet. So for my second attempt, I'm making some paper sticks here. I'm using 2 hands with the knife, and basically I'm going to put this in my pocket to make sure that they're dry. Much better, much better. See there? So. Just keep feeding the small pieces in. Looking good. That heat will build up inside. Just keep feeding the small pieces there. So that's basically what we want. I'm going to keep using that technique with the double-handed knife feather sticks, taking like planes of wood and then put them in my pocket. That's better than mucking around with tiny little feather sticks a lot of times. So a bit more labour intensive than birch, but that's my little fire done. That'll keep us warm for the first night while we build the shelter up. Each day as we go along we can put more greenage up and the shelter will become more waterproof as time goes on. Basically on your first day you don't want it to rain. If it doesn't rain you can get a fire going if you have a lighter. I don't have a hand bow drill set. I'd have to basically find some dry weeds to do that, but that would be very difficult. Of course with this fire you don't want it to burn your wood, so you need about a foot in between your flames here and your shelter. So if I was legit going to stay here at night, I basically would have prepared large logs and I would have a sort of system here to keep it burning overnight. There's no way I'm just going to go to sleep with that with this raging fire, but if I get some hot coals then I could basically replace a log every hour or so. I'll probably keep waking up during the night anyway. And I've got a little bit of a flammable jacket on, so I'm not going to go too close to this, but right now it's quite cosy in here and the radiant heat will basically reflect off the branches, so I got a little bit of waterproofing up there, you know. It's not burning as you can see. Not all gloves are made equal. These are Gore-Tex Melody German style gloves, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let them sit here and dry it a little bit without setting them on fire. That would really suck. That first big log is soaking wet, but there's enough power inside there that I know that it will dry all that wood anyway, so you can't put too many of those large logs on at once. And this little bed that I made here is great, it keeps me dry, and that'll dry off nicely anyway. You can see the steam on those gloves, so watch them closely so you don't burn your gloves up. So that's how you make your basic bed there. Check out how these barks burn. A little bit wet, but once these barks are full of oil, and they'll burn nice and hot. See a nice bed of coal starting to form, so that'll really warm up the ground as well. Don't do this at home, folks. Want to dry your gloves quick? Anything not flammable? Well, White Christmas. Thanks for watching that, folks. Most important thing to remember is eye protection.